Hey everyone, good morning and welcome to this episode of MC Commute starring Harley Davidson's Street Glide. All right everyone, there it is, Harley Davidson's Street Glide. This is a heavyweight touring style V-twin bagger from Harley Davidson Motor Company out of Milwaukee, Wisconsin. This particular model was last updated for the 2024 model year and it carries into this calendar year. It's powered by Harley Davidson's 117 cubic inch 45 degree V-twin engine. This engine is air oil cooled and features liquid cooled cylinder heads. This engine is good for upwards of 90 horsepower at the business end of that 18-inch rear wheel and upwards of 100 pound-feet of torque just off idle. Whoa, that's a lot of power. Look at this motorcycle. This particular Street Glide differs from Harley Davidson's Road Glide in the use of a fixed fairing that's mounted to the fork. So whenever you turn the handlebar, the fairing moves as well. Conversely, Harley Davidson's Road Glide is fixed to the frame, so the handlebar turns independently of the front fairing. 6 of this, half does the other. There's a lot of other changes that make the Street Glide differ from the Road Glide, so let's get into it. Right away, sitting on this motorcycle, it's really crazy how much the ergonomics differ from the Road Glide and the Street Glide. The riding position generally on the Street Glide is a lot more compact than the Road Glide. The Road Glide features much higher handlebar, and the spacing between the handlebar and the seat, there's a lot more room. The Street Glide is a lot more compact, and the handlebar to the seat is a lot closer. It almost feels like this beautiful 12-inch plus color TFT display is right in your face. But that's not necessarily a bad thing. The seating position on the Street Glide, for whatever reason, you have just a little bit more room to move your posterior region forward and aft in the seat, which makes for a little bit extra comfort for longer rides. Like the Road Glide, it would really be nice if this motorcycle had a backrest. That is one of the first things we would fit on this product, would be a backrest, just to kind of give us a little bit more back support when we're logging miles on this motorcycle. Just like the Road Glide, this particular vehicle has forward mount controls, so your feet are sitting in front of the bike, in front of the rear sets on a typical motorcycle, and you can still, there's nice floorboards that allow your feet to rest, so you have something to put your weight on. Generally, it's a really comfortable ride. The wind protection's not quite as copious as the Road Glide. You're a little bit more in the elements, especially your lower extremities, but we wouldn't say it's a bad thing. It's just different, and it's still really nice that this motorcycle has this adjustable louver so you can deflect more or less wind into the cockpit. We also have these louvers on the side of the vehicle right here, which do a nice job deflecting air. They're not quite as big as the Road Glide, but still, this motorcycle is set up for touring comfort. Now, this particular vehicle is powered by Harley Davidson's 117 cubic inch Milwaukee 8 engine. This engine is an 8-valve cylinder heads equipped engine with an overhead cam design. It is air, oil, and features liquid cooled cylinder heads that allows this engine to really get up and go. And we have upwards of 90 horsepower at the business end of that rear wheel. Wow, that's a lot of power. And upwards of 100 pound-feet of torque from just off idle. How neat is that, folks? This bike certainly gets up and to go in a hurry, which we can hopefully show you in a little bit. The engine's augmented by a cable actuated clutch. The action of the clutch is nice. It's really well weighted, and it has a little bit lighter pull than Harley Davidson's of old. It also has a lot more feel than Harley Davidson's of old. It still requires a good amount of strength to pull in the clutch, but it's well weighted and it's better than before. We certainly like it. Clutch is augmented by a 6-speed transmission that puts power back to the rear wheel via a belt final drive on the left-hand side of the vehicle. The transmission on this motorcycle, that's a signature Harley Davidson feature. The transmission has a very visceral feel. So when you upshift or downshift through the gearbox, you certainly feel each engagement. It really meshes between the gears with authority and has a very visceral feel, which we like. Who knew shifting gears could be so fun on this Harley Davidson? In the 2025 current age, it wouldn't be bad if Harley Davidson, I know this sounds crazy, but it is racing beggars. Why not fit an electronic quick shifter on this vehicle? I think that would be cool. Back to the engine. This engine is just so awesome because it really puts out smooth power. Just when you think Harley Davidson 45-degree V-twin engines can't get any more smooth and luxurious feeling, we have this 2025 Street Glide with its 45-degree Milwaukee 8 engine that just is so comfortable and smooth. And there is some vibration, but it's the right kind of vibration. A lot of American manufacturers get that wrong. Not Harley Davidson's with this 2025 Street Glide. The engine vibration is really well sorted, and it makes the motorcycle fun to ride rather than detracting from the ride, which is exactly the way it's supposed to do. Now, this particular Street Glide is fitted with a ride-by-wire throttle that enables adjustable combined engine power and throttle mode maps, which we can switch here via this mode button on the switch gear. This is the rain mode. This is the road mode. Road mode's nice because it has just normal throttle response. It's not too sharp, it's not too dull, and realistically it is our favorite overall riding mode and map. However, if you want to really feel every single cubic inch of this 45-degree V-twin engine, put it in sport mode. That really heightens throttle response. It just makes this motorcycle feel a lot more sporty. It's really cool how those ride modes really adjust the feeling of acceleration and power output of this Milwaukee 8 V-twin. Now, other electronic goodies on this motorcycle include traction control and ABS, IMU powered ABS. So that means that the ABS is lean angle sensitive. So even at lean, if you apply too much front brake or rear brake input, the vehicle will not have any wheel lockup, which really helps during stops and just helps enhance stability out on the road. Now, keeping tabs on everything is this gorgeous 12+ inch color TFT display. This display not only looks cool, but it's also touch screen sensitive. Folks, we're going to pull over real quick and talk about this ride and fill you in on what's going on right now. Well, everyone, so far so good on Harley Davidson's Street Glide motorcycle. Wow, this thing's certainly a looker. Look how brilliant it looks in that brilliant red paint with the chrome accents. This motorcycle just looks absolutely gorgeous, and it rides even better than it looks, if you can even believe it. Folks, let's show you the inside of its lockable storage compartments right here. Come along and let's see. We have this this metal steel latch here. We lift that up, and there is the interior of the bag. It's always worth mentioning that you have to close it and push that down. Now, unlike the Road Glide's cockpit with its independent storage cubbies on either side of the vehicle, we have this center mount tray. How cool is this? We also have a USB-C port so we can charge our electronic doodads. And this is the keyless ignition fob. This is a proximity key fob, which has to be within close proximity of the vehicle for the engine to start. We also have this old school bicycle-like key, which is used to lock the steering to help prevent theft. We're going to leave that in here. How cool is that? Harley Davidson, this is ingenious. What a great way to store your goodies when you're on the road. All right, folks, enough talking. Let's get back on the road and see what this thing's like to ride. Now, of course, this 12 plus color inch TFT display, you can pair it with your iOS or Android enabled smartphone, which we have done here, so we can get turn-by-turn directions and listen to our jams. Let's pump some Ted Nugent Stranglehold. How does it sound, folks? I'd say it sounds pretty good. The sound is beating out of a pair of 5 1/4 inch speakers located right here and right here. We have 50 watts of power running through these speakers. Now, the sound system on this Street Glide does sound better than the Road Glide, and part of the reason why it does sound better is just the positioning of the speakers. The speakers are integrated into the fairing, and the fairing is so close to the rider with the speakers pointed right at the rider that the audio quality is just really nice. Not that the Road Glide audio quality is bad, but just where the speakers are positioned inside the fairing and where the fairings, where the speakers are mounted and orientated in the fairing, just makes for a little bit less pleasing sound. Let's listen to it again. So awesome. What a marvelous sounding motorcycle. I love the sound system on this motorcycle. It is absolutely boss. Now, we're actuating the controls of this motorcycle with also updated for 2024 switchgear. Now, the switchgear on this vehicle, I really like it. It's nice and chunky, and it's easy to use with gloves. And Harley Davidson did some really neat engineering. So obviously motorcycle riders have different sized hands. Some have small hands, some have big hands. Now, to be able to accommodate all riders of any shape and size, Harley Davidson made this dual control system. So inside of each switchgear, we have a smaller joystick, which allows people with smaller fingers and more fine finger control to navigate the menu system. And then on the other hand, if you have larger fingers or just want to use your thumb, you can use this exterior joystick. Both joysticks literally do the same thing. The thing is, Harley Davidson has two sets of controls to accommodate riders of different hand size. Really nice. I love the chunky feel of the switchgear. It really makes navigating the menu system really well here, which we can do here. You can also pick different themes and do other kind of things, but we should really recommend you doing that when you are at a stop. Overall, really slick, really nice. Let's put this bike into cruise control. We enable cruise control by pushing on this button right here. If you can see it, there's the yellow light. And let's engage cruise control. Now we have cruise control engaged at 32 miles per hour. If we want the vehicle to accelerate, we push on this plus side with our index finger. And if we want it to go slower, we press on this minus sign with the index finger. Really nice here. Let's get the Ted Nugent on pause, which we can pause with just this button here. In addition to Bluetooth audio, we also have the ability to listen to an AM FM radio if we want. We'll show you how to do that. You just go in the menu system here and go into device manager. That's where you pair your phone. Go into sound, and that's where you can change your audio routing and things of that nature. Now, this particular Street Glide with a full 6 gallons of fuel weighs in at just over 800 pounds. So certainly this bike is no featherweight, but you'd be amazed at how light and agile this vehicle feels out on the road. It is incredible with its 19-inch front, 18-inch cast aluminum wheels spinning, how maneuverable this bike is. Motorcycles that weigh over 800 pounds should not be this maneuverable, yet this Harley Davidson is. Now, this vehicle is suspended by Showa suspension. Up front, we have a conventional telescopic fork with over 4 inches of travel, and out back, we have a pair of coil spring Showa shock absorbers that are preload adjustable, so you can set the ride height of the vehicle based on riding preference or load capacity, whether you have a passenger or cargo in either one of the saddlebags. And the suspension travel there is 3 inches. This vehicle glides over the bumps. It's crazy, the ride quality of this motorcycle. It is truly superb. This thing offers awesome damping. It's just really comfortable on the road. Yet, if you can even believe it, when you ride this motorcycle in a sport bike fashion, this motorcycle actually handles really well. It has really pleasing road holding. Obviously, ground clearance is going to be an issue, but for an 800-pound V-twin bagger style cruiser, you'd be amazed how well this bike hustles around corners. Really, really nice Harley Davidson. Now, in terms of braking, we have triple disc hydraulic brakes featuring 4-piston axial mount calipers. So 4-piston axial mount calipers all the way around. This vehicle has really good stopping power. We also like the high quality brake lines, which are a lot more high quality than the rubber brake lines that other manufacturers use on this bike. Of course, we have fixed always on ABS, which completely mitigates front or wheel lockup if you apply too much brake pressure for the adhesion limits of the pavement and the asphalt. Let's show you the brakes right here. When we come to the stop here at the stop sign, we're going to turn right here. Let's turn on the self-canceling turn signals, and let's show you how good these triple disc hydraulic brakes work. Oh man, these brakes have some stopping power. I like it. All right, let's give this thing the berries and see what she's got. Oh yeah, 117 cubic inches of Milwaukee, Wisconsin muscle right there, folks. And this thing gets, oh my, oh, we're going almost
the speed limit.
Jeez Louise. I can't believe how fast this motorcycle accelerates. Can you believe, folks, that a V-twin bagger from Harley can accelerate up to dang near
the speed limit
in that short of time, all while providing a pleasing engine and exhaust note? Gee willikers, that is so awesome. What a fun motorcycle. I love riding this motorcycle, whether you're just cruising in a straight line or giving it the berries, getting up and go. This thing certainly goes. Now, even with all that muscle, this motorcycle has been averaging upwards of 38 miles per gallon. 38 miles per gallon, I'd say that's pretty good. We know that because the onboard computers tell us 39.6 miles per gallon average. Pretty neat. We also have the ability to see our range on this vehicle and the outside ambient air temperature, and there's even TPMS, tire pressure monitoring system, that keeps tabs on the PSI of the front and rear wheels. If it gets out of spec, the little yellow light comes on and tells you that you should check that right there. Now, the rear view mirrors on this particular Street Glide, they're more nicely integrated than the Road Glides, where the Road Glides sits up and feels almost like an afterthought. These rear view mirrors are nicely integrated into the handlebar mounted fairing, which we really like. These Street Glide mirrors not only do a good job of integration and help complement the aesthetic of this vehicle, but they do a fine job of showing you what's going on behind you. I wouldn't say they're better or worse than the Road Glides in terms of visibility, but they're definitely more neatly integrated into the product, which we really like. Now, we talked about this chunky switchgear and how awesome it is, but come on, Harley Davidson, how come it can't offer standard backlighting? We know that the CVO models upgrade that and give you backlit controls. You can also purchase it as an accessory, but for its over $28,000 asking price, this bike should have backlit controls as standard. Oh, folks, this is just luxurious. Just cruising on this motorcycle and just checking out the sights and sounds. And that's what these Harley Davidson touring style V-twin baggers are really about, are just getting out on the open road and exploring the wonders of Earth and civilization and just checking things out. Well, everyone, that wraps up our official MC Commute ride today on Harley Davidson's Street Glide motorcycle. Wow, this motorcycle is just awesome. Look how good it looks in its brilliant red paint with its chrome accents. This particular vehicle retails for $28,600 in the United States. Wow, that's a lot of money, but you certainly get a very quality motorcycle. Not only does the fit and finish and the paint just absolutely top notch and commensurate with a Japanese motorcycle, but the ride quality and the performance is more than up to par. This is one awesome motorcycle. We really, really like riding it. And if we were in the market for a V-twin heavyweight style cruiser, we would absolutely have the Street Glide on our shopping list. Believe it or not, after riding the Street Glide, we actually prefer it to the Road Glide. The riding position is a little bit more intimate. The position of the speakers just allows for a better sound out of the audio system when you're riding, and that fixed fairing that's mounted to the handlebar. We like that it turns with the handlebar. That is super neat. Well, everyone, that wraps up our official MC Commute review on this Street Glide motorcycle from Harley Davidson. We'll see you in the next episode. Thank you for riding with us today.